to a live, spontaneous broadcast of A Course in Miracles. And today I have titled the live, One Mind Awakening to One Mind, capital M. One Mind Remembering Its Divinity. And that sounds like a tall order, but that is actually the atonement. That is accepting the atonement for our mind. And that is the sole responsibility of the miracle worker. And then he says, the sole responsibility of the teacher of God. In A Course in Miracles, Jesus really gets straight with us, gives us a straight up fact. This is what it's all about. So it may seem like we have individual private minds as persons with private thoughts and a private history and private ambitions for the future, but actually what we really are seeing is we don't have this private mind with private thoughts, and we have to realize that everything that we perceive in the world, in the cosmos of time and space, is all there by our own election. By desiring the ego, we authored the dream. We now have to let go of that false authorship, because God is the author of reality and God authors in spirit. So we have to really watch our mind, and we have to start to realize it's all about our thoughts. Like in lesson number 23 from the workbook, I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. That the world is just a pictorial representation of our consciousness, what we believe in consciousness. And that's why this linear world of time and space isn't real, because consciousness is the domain of the ego. Jesus tells us in the Manual for Teachers, clarification of terms, and also that light and love is purely abstract. So we're here to release every scrap of error, every opinion, every attack thought that was ever held in the mind, and remember the truth of who we really are as the Christ. So some of you remember lesson 152 from the workbook, the power of decision is my own. And he basically says, everything that you perceive or have ever perceived is there by your own election. And you may think this is too extreme to be the truth, but he reminds us that truth has no exceptions. So today we're going to take a quick little dive into if it's just one mind awakening to its oneness, to the one divine mind, then okay, give me some context on that. Make it practical, Jesus. And Jesus does. He's talking, first of all, here in chapter 22, Salvation in the Holy Relationship. This is section 2, your brother's sinlessness. And he says in this section, reason will tell you that the only way to escape from misery is to recognize it and go the other way. Truth is the same and misery is the same, but they are different from each other in every way, in every instance and without exception. To believe that one exception can exist is to confuse what is the same with what is different. One illusion cherished and defended against the truth makes all truth meaningless and all illusions real. Such is the power of belief. It cannot compromise. And faith in innocence is faith in sin if the belief excludes one living thing and holds it out apart from its forgiveness. So he's teaching us in this section, you have to really not exclude anything at all. At all. He says, all that is possible in the dark world of misery is to select some aspects out of it, see them as different, and define the difference as joy. Yet to perceive a difference where none exists will surely fail to make a difference. It's a play on words. And if we jump to chapter 19, the attainment of peace, section 4, the obstacles to peace, he says, as peace extends from deep inside yourself to embrace all the sonship and give it rest, it will encounter many obstacles. Some of them you will try to impose, others will seem to arise from elsewhere, from your brothers, and from various aspects of the world outside. Yet peace will gently cover them, extending past completely unencumbered. The extension of the Holy Spirit's purpose from your relationship to others to bring them gently in is the way in which He will bring means and goal in line. Yeah, that's it. And then he goes and talks a little bit about how this is accomplished. He says, you can indeed be sure of nothing you see outside you, but of this you can be sure. The Holy Spirit asks that you offer Him a resting place where you will rest in Him. He answered you and entered your relationship. Would you not now return His graciousness and enter into a relationship with Him? For it is He who offered your relationship the gift of holiness, without which it would have been forever impossible to appreciate your brother. And then I know we keep coming back to this lesson, but this really explains it well. The workbook is actually the practical application of the text. So lesson 23, I can escape from the world I see by giving up attack thoughts. And he basically is teaching us the reason all the verse 22 are in place in the workbook is so you can see the escape. And he's mentioning it here in lesson 23. And I think I just read this, but recently, maybe it was even yesterday, but the idea for today contains the only way out of fear that will ever succeed. Nothing else will work. Everything else is meaningless, but this way cannot fail. Every thought you have makes up some segment of the world you see. It is with your thoughts, then, that we must work if your perception of the world is to be changed. That's the key. It is with your thoughts, then, that we must work if your perception of the world is to be changed. There's no external world. There's no world apart from the mind because ideas leave not their source. So this idea of projecting an external world is a trick because there is no external world. And that's why you see the world differently because you can change your thoughts. But you first have to recognize it is with your thoughts then that we must work if your perception of the world is to be changed. I could be hurt by nothing but my thoughts. That's another lesson. It's just pointing to you have to work with the level of causation, and that's at the level of thoughts. And these attack thoughts are not real thoughts because God didn't create them. But if I release these erroneous, unreal thoughts, these opinions, these judgments, these grievances, these attack thoughts, then that's how I'm happy. And we have to release them all. You can't release some of them or most of them because you can't have a scrap of air left in your mind. Remember, the Holy Christ doesn't have any scraps of air. The Holy Christ is a perfect creation of a perfect creator. So he says, if the cause of the world you see is attack thoughts, you must learn that it is these thoughts which you do not want. There is no point in lamenting the world. There is no point in trying to change the world. It is incapable of change because it is merely an effect. But there is indeed a point in changing your thoughts about the world. Here you are changing the cause. The effect will change automatically. The world you see is a vengeful world, and everything in it is a symbol of vengeance. Each of your perceptions of external reality is a pictorial representation of your own attack thoughts. One can well ask if this can be called seeing. Is not fantasy a better word for such a process, and hallucination a more appropriate term for the result? You see the world that you have made, but you do not see yourself as the image maker. You cannot be saved from the world, but you can escape from its cause. This is what salvation means, for where is the world you see when its cause is gone? Vision already holds a replacement for everything you think you see now. Loveliness can light your images and so transform them that you will love them even though they were made of hate, for you will not be making them alone. The idea for today introduces the thought that you are not trapped in the world you see because its cause can be changed. This change requires first that the cause be identified and then let go so that it can be replaced. The first two steps in this process require your cooperation. The final one does not. Your images have already been replaced. By taking the first two steps, you will see that this is so. There we go. And then he tells us at the very end, in the practice periods, be sure to include both your thoughts of attacking and of being attacked. Their effects are exactly the same because they are exactly the same. Thoughts of attacking and being attacked. They are the same. They're all attack thoughts. You do not recognize this as yet, and you are asked at this time only to treat them as the same in today's practice periods. We are still at the stage of identifying the cause of the world you see. When you finally learn that thoughts of attack and of being attacked are not different, you will be ready to let the cause go. Okay. I know it's very, very simple. I know it's very direct, but this is Jesus giving it to us straight, He just wants us to not have any suffering, no misery, no conflict, no struggles, no challenges. He's just saying, here it is, it's straight. This is it. This is what it is. You have to do the mind training in your mind. You have to make no exceptions to the lesson of the day. You have to transfer the training. You have to let it sweep through your mind like a lighthouse sweeps. The light sweeps around the darkened sky and lights up the night. That's what this is about. So, yeah, happy day, happy moment. This is it. One mind awakening to one mind, capital mind, divine mind, remembering the divine mind of God and Christ, remembering the oneness, remembering the joy, the happiness, the peace, remembering the love, remembering what's true, what's real. That's it. Okay. Have a beautiful day. Shine your light, share your love, extend, shine for all your mind to experience the light.